Lately I've been scrolling. You know, it's one of those days that was just so boring. There's nothing to do. You're scrolling through YouTube. There's nothing to find. So I go on Netflix. I'm going on there too, scrolling up and down, left, right. I don't see anything. And so what do? I see at the corner of my eye.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
I am inevitable.
One Piece. And after watching 100 episodes or so, I can officially say One Piece is peak. That's right. I never thought I'd be saying these words, but One Piece is peak. It is worth watching. Right now, for some context, I've never been a One Piece glazer. I've always been a hater, talking about how it has 1,000 episodes. No anime needs 1,000 episodes, right? So it's not like I was always on this side. Times have changed. You feel me? When I first started watching One Piece, I would actually watch it like on and off with my brother, and I got all the way up to Alabasta's ending. And you know, by that time I still wasn't convinced, because Alabasta ends like around episode 200 or 200 something, right? Alabasta isn't a long arc or anything. No, actually Alabasta is even before 200. I liked Alabasta. Like, I was still enjoying One Piece, but like I didn't see what other people saw that made it so special, right? But I can declare that now I have. One Piece is just incredible on so many levels, and I'm gonna try to address a lot of the aspects that I've noticed throughout my watching. By the way, I am not on episode 1,000 something on One Piece. I'm not even halfway through. I'm on episode 350. I'm on Thriller Bark, but that's all it took for me to come to this realization. Now, you can't mention One Piece if you don't talk about the world building. Oh my gosh, I don't know how One Piece does it. Every new island they go to, it's like a completely different dimension. It's as if like two places are not even connected to each other. In the real world, when you go between countries, you often see similarities, especially if, let's say, you're traveling in Europe. They probably have like similar architecture, geography, similar cultures as well. In One Piece, like every island is so unique, it's so different, it's just incredible. Like, it's incredible the level of creativity that like Oda would have to like think of all of this. Like, even though we're following a storyline of, you know, Luffy traveling, the plot is always changing, and that takes hella skill. As I'm watching the anime, I'm realizing that he had so much foresight. Like, I was personally not expecting Haki to be mentioned this early, and for the admirals to be mentioned this early either. Like, I thought this was stuff that would come like 500 episodes, 600 episodes later, like everyone else. I know like the major spoilers of One Piece, like Marineford, what happens there, who Big Mom and Kaido are, or even who are the admirals, right? But the special thing with One Piece is that you can be spoiled with the big parts, and yet like you realize that you actually don't know much about the anime at all. And One Piece isn't just about those major plot points, those major fights. It's really about the journey that it takes to get over there. So I don't feel spoiled at all. There's just so many things happening at once. You can't ever be spoiled about all of One Piece. One Piece is really good at representing real world issues in a fictional world. One Piece feels so real. This is a story with people have powers, like fucking rubber, fucking lightning, sand, animals. This is not real life, and yet it feels so much like real life because they still go through the same issues. The government issues, poverty, tragedies, economic issues, and social issues. And Oda is really good at presenting that in One Piece. Like, I was watching Skypiea, for instance, right? And basically Skypiea attempts to be a representation of what's happening with the Middle East and Palestine, Israel, right? And it's just crazy to me to think about like Oda was thinking about these things probably before I was even born. The manga was drawn before I was even born. Now, obviously these conflicts have been going on for a long time, but a lot of people didn't know about them till recently. Oda, someone in Japan, he's addressing these issues. Like, that's crazy. You can see that he drew inspiration from like multiple sources. A lot of them are grounded in reality. One thing that a lot of people complain about with One Piece is the pacing. As a person, episode 350, I 100% agree with you. I agree with you that the pacing of One Piece is annoying, but I still think it's somewhat necessary. What I know is that Oda does, he just loves to show every single point of view of an altercation or of like a, you know, a specific plot, even insignificant as it might seem. Doing that on a manga, right, on different pages, like one page is dedicated or a few pages are dedicated to like like an insignificant role, a group that's trying to divert attention. On a manga, you could easily like draw that, you know, the group is able to divert, keep the person's attention. You could do that simply in like however many pages is. But in anime, you have to actually like draw every single frame and put in time to showing that entire process, and you have to make sure that the dialogue is realistic as well. So all of that goes into, you know, the anime, and so that's why it still takes like minutes of our episode away. The pacing as a result takes a hit because of that, and I'm in agreement with you. Like I hate that. That's one of the reasons why One Piece's storytelling is just so brilliant, because it addresses all of it. You know, you're not left with a lot of questions at the end. You're not left with, oh wait, what were they doing? Because One Piece answers it all. It shows that he really puts in deep thought into thinking about the start, the middle, and the conclusion of an arc. Now I want to talk about some of the characters. I want to talk about the crew, of course, my opinion of them. Luffy, I love Luffy. When I'm watching these episodes, I often, like, if it's a major episode, I go on Reddit and I like look at the episode and want to see what people said. I love Reddit for that, by the way. If you're watching a show by yourself, just go to Reddit and you'll see a bunch of people discussing it, and they'll even dive deeper into the bigger meaning or just something that you might have missed. The way they described Luffy is someone who's there to defeat the main boss, and he's not really heavy on getting deeply philosophical, contemplating on like the plot and the different groups. Luffy is just a simple man. He wants to become the pirate king. He wants to assemble the best crew, and he will only fight you if you're in his way or you're attacking one of his friends, and I can respect that. The main character doesn't always need to be this extremely smart, intellectual like person. Like Luffy's a simple guy and he gets the job done. He's goofy, he's funny. Another thing I like about Luffy is that he can be serious. Like he gets serious. When I get talking about the arcs, when it comes to Water 7 and CP9, I notice like he becomes like more mature. Like I'm seeing him become more serious about his crew and taking decisions. I like Luffy because of that, because he takes decisions and he takes the decision seriously. All right, the next crewmate, Nami. All right, Nami's great. There's not much to say about her. She's a good navigator. I actually wasn't expecting Nami to be a coward. People always say Usopp's a coward and he's trying to become a brave man of the sea, right? But I love Usopp. Usopp is not a coward at all. Usopp's very dependable. He's like the jack of all trades, right? He's a mechanic, somewhat of a mechanic, inventor. He's a smart man, very clever. I don't want to spoil anything. And he's honestly like one of us, if you think about it. Who's gonna go up against these fucking giants who have, you know, devil fruits and like these powers and like not feel anything? That's not normal, nigga. Like Luffy isn't normal, you feel me? Zoro is not normal, you feel me? So Usopp really brings that realism into the crew. It's kind of like one of us being there. He helps, he contributes a lot. All right, so Zoro, I like Zoro, but like I still haven't gotten attached to him yet. I understand that he's Luffy's right hand man. He's the most loyal person on the crew. That's evident. His gag of getting lost does get annoying sometimes. That also influences pacing, right? I don't like that. He fights, there's someone away from the fight, and he's strong, you feel me? Like get knocked out like 3 times and come back up. So I like him a lot. All right, Sanji, what can I say? I love Sanji, really. I don't know if it gets worse, but from what I've seen, Sanji's gag of being a simp, like it's not bad. It's not that bad. Sanji's like a classy simp. He's someone who, he likes women, right? That's obvious, and he has this code of conduct to not hit women, to not be women, which I can see getting very annoying and coming in the way, because it's like, how are you gonna put women above your crew's lives? I didn't like that at all. But he's like a gentleman. Like he's not really a simp. He's low-key kind of respectable. I love his power. I love how we just got introduced to his foot thing. I love that power. That power was cool. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting Zoro to get power. I wasn't expecting Sanji to get power out of nowhere. He's a funny character. He's great at cooking. He's always aura farming with his cigarettes. Like, how can you hate my man Sanji for real? Like, I don't know if it gets worse, you feel me? But right now, I love Sanji as a character. All right, Chopper. I love Chopper. He's low-key a coward too, but he's dependable. He has his transformations of his devil fruit, which are so awesome. He got the fist thing, you feel me? The Kamehameha thing. He got the reindeer long thing, you feel me? And he's just very versatile. He's a great doctor. Just an amazing character. I love Chopper. Robin. Well, I don't actually have much of an opinion on Robin. Okay, I just finished her arc, so let me not say that. Her backstory was definitely my favorite backstory, even though it was the longest. It was 4 episodes long. I feel like it could have been 3 episodes, but it kept me intrigued the entire time, so I cannot complain. And it was a very sad background for sure, but I guess Robin's personality and her positive attributes will come out more towards later. Some people on Reddit also noticed how she would call the crewmates by their roles, like boardman, captain, navigator, the chef. I don't know if she said chef. You know, she wouldn't call them by their names, but I'm pretty sure that's changed by now because I'm on Thriller Bark now. So it changes later on, just know. Oh, Frankie just got added. I didn't mind his backstory. It was 3 episodes long. I think it could have been shorter, but I love Frankie as a character. He's such an amazing shipwright. He's cool, you feel me? He came on the streets, brought order into chaos. He's actually a strong person. Like, he's not just one role. He could also fight. He's not really a scary cat, but he's an emotional guy as well. Like, he cries at times. He's just a fun addition to the crew. Oh yeah, I got to Thriller Bark and we meet Brooke. Brooke, oh my god, I love Brooke's introduction, especially since it's so fresh on my mind. And I just love it. Like, him and Luffy got along immediately. He talked about his past. It's actually like pretty depressing. Like, I just can't wait for him to become an integral part of the crew. All right, I think I just went through all the characters all on the crew. I think I've addressed how, like, I don't like how the backstories are kind of like an episode longer than they need to be. Now let me talk about the different arcs. Ooh, let's start with Skypiea. I love the Skypiea, but I do have a few complaints. I didn't like how in Skypiea, oh, this is actually spoiler territory, so maybe you shouldn't watch this. I don't like how Skypiea, nobody dies. I searched that up. I was just like, what? Oda doesn't like killing people? You kidding me? The entire arc is about a war between 2 different people, and yet they both have the same enemy. One has too much ego and pride, while the other side is, you know, full of wrath, wants revenge, blinded essentially, not able to realize that they should team up. Like, nobody dies. Like, tell me how the fuck lightning, nigga, lightning falls on the father and one of the angels, and then that guy survives at the end. Nothing, no bruising. Like, I can understand someone surviving. He should have looked injured. Like, he should have looked like he was in critical condition but alive. You feel me? And then Chopper heals him. Like, that would have been more respectable than him just looking like nothing happened. Like, that shit was so fake. I'm not gonna lie. I did not like that. And it's war, you know, people do die. So I feel like that took away from the realism. Besides that, I didn't like how Luffy was sidelined the entire time. Like, Luffy's an idiot, but he's not that stupid. I feel like there was a smarter way to like sideline him. Like he was punching the snake and nothing was happening. Like, what are we talking about? I thought he was gonna burst out of the snake. Like, I legitimately thought that was like any second now. 20 episodes later, Luffy is still in that fucking snake. I hate having to sideline like the main character just to get a plot across. Anaru was, yeah, that nigga was like shown as a fucking god, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, he was scary as hell. Like, say his name, Thunderclap, boom, shit's over. It's over, bro. So like the way Luffy defeated him was just hilarious. The fact that observation haki, like I said, Oda's foresight, like observation haki was already a thing in his mind. Like, I don't think he had fully thought about haki, like the name haki, but he definitely thought of something where like person can see like into the future or see someone's moves. It's not like some insane concept, of course, but at the time I guess he named it mantra, or maybe it's just like a Skypiea vocabulary. But then, you know, now I'm in, I think CP9 Water 7, they mentioned haki for the first time, like by name. So like even then, like that's incredible foresight. So when haki is actually going to be revealed to us. Now I could talk about Alabasta, but I'm gonna be honest, like I said, I don't remember much of it. I was watching with my brother, and it's been like a good year since I watched Alabasta, right? I loved Alabasta, loved Crocodile. I think if I remember correctly, the whole scheme was this. Crocodile was basically profiting off of people's poverty, and he opened like a casino. He was profiting off of the desert. He was creating a drought. That's what it was. Yes. He was creating a drought and like hogging all the water basically. And in that place, like he created this sort of paradise where he had this casino and he had this flourishing whole city, but at the expense of everything else. But just to think about, like damn, like that actually sounds like somewhere. You feel me? That actually sounds like something that could happen in real life. Crocodile wasn't a politician. He was more like a drug lord or whatever. Like, damn, that's deep, bro. Yo, and Alabasta was like one of the first arcs too. Like, that's hella deep. Nah, bro, I gotta glaze Oda. Like, he's just fire. I remember Luffy got stabbed. You feel me? He was bleeding, actually. I think that was the first time Luffy actually bled. And yeah, you know, like I said, I can't dive too deep into Alabasta because I don't remember it too well. Now we got Water 7 and CP9. The best arc. This is the arc that made me want to make this video. I just loved it. From the concept of Water 7, the city, the entire plot line being about how these undercover agents, they essentially hijack the government of the city. I'm guessing like in One Piece, islands have mayors basically. So the mayor of the city has a company. They infiltrate the company, right? And they gain his trust. Everything gets exposed, you feel me? me? Like, that's deep. Like, someone told me like when watching Water 7 and CP9, like, you should think of it as like governments actually be getting infiltrated. Like, I think we've all heard of stories of like governors or Congress people's, you know, wives being like fucking spies from like China or some shit. Like, that shit actually happens, bro. Like, that shit does happen. You know, some people conspiracize, you know, in the American government, stuff happens, you feel me? Like, just thinking about CP9 Water 7 in that way just shows like its brilliancy. Like, I was not expecting all those people to be undercover agents, you feel me? I did not expect them to be CP9. Like, I knew Rob Lucci was CP9, but I didn't know any of the other people. So that was crazy to me when it was revealed. Like I said about One Piece, like, you can be spoiled about one thing, but you're never spoiled about everything. Whew. Got the entire plot of Enies lobby, and that's where I talk about like showing the point of views. No, even before then, right? Before Enies lobby, the train section to Enies lobby, right? You gotta show Sanji, you gotta show Usopp, you gotta show Robin, you gotta show the actual CP9 people in the train, you gotta show the Marines on the train, you gotta show Luffy and his crew and Frankie's family coming, right? You gotta show all those different point of views, and you gotta show on top of that the Marines that get left behind. Like, that's a lot of different point of views to navigate, and it's done so seamlessly. I love the fights. I love Zoro just like, oh, you feel me? Just be cutting through shit. I love Zoro. Go on to Enies lobby, right? Is where the pacing issues. You can have a bunch of pacing issues in Enies lobby. Because like I said, Frankie's family needs to divert the attention of the Marines that are on the gate. Proactive Luffy fucking disappears. You know, and then we have the rest of the crew who are just waiting. So you gotta show Luffy beating up people, being ahead of everyone essentially, which is a little annoying because, you know, eventually they gotta regroup. Like, so what's the point of doing all this? Frankie values, there's nothing special about them, you know, so they gotta fight basically regular people. So we're not seeing any of the major fights, we're not seeing any of the major plays, but we gotta stick to it, and that's a good like tens of episodes. If pacing issues are the reasons why you don't want to enter One Piece, thank God you have Netflix, you feel me? Like, I'm not gonna act like I spent every minute of every second watching every episode, because that's not true. When shit got boring, when shit was predictable, I was fast forward. I can only imagine how the people who grew up watching One Piece like did it, because I wouldn't be able to do it. They must have so much love for this anime. You can spend an entire episode just on some shit random, bro, like a point of view that's just absolutely random that nobody gives a fuck about. And the way One Piece does it is that they'll show like a plot that you care about. So let's say Luffy by himself, you know, defeating the Marines and going ahead, going forward, like they'll focus on that for like a good 3 minutes, and then the rest of the episode is just fucking irrelevant Frankie family shit, and that shit gets you tight. I'm so grateful that I have Netflix. I can just fast forward, and that's what everyone else should realize as well. You can just fast forward and get to the good parts. Also, One Piece remake is about to happen. I'm sure they're gonna pace it better in that regard. The whole group meeting up again finally. They get actual enemies, CP9 enemies. Luffy with that first fight with the CP9, remember? Woo! Year 2. It was so fire. It was so fire. He said, I got an idea. Whenever Luffy says he got an idea, it was over. I was not expecting us to see Gear 2 and Gear 3 in the same arc. Like, I was expecting that, because I know the next one is Gear 4, and I'm already spoiled on how Gear 4 looks like, obviously. Like, I know that's a lot of time away. Like, I wasn't expecting Gears to be brought up. And then we see them aura farming, both sides just aura farming for real. And then again, you get Robin's backstory. Amazing. Just peak. From there on, you realize that One Piece is just peak. Sanji fights, Zoro fights, power ups left, right, and then towards the end they can focus on the most important thing for 3 minutes, and then the rest of the episode is just spent on pointless stuff. And I feel like that was really happening towards the end with Luffy versus, you know, that fight was dead ass like 10 episodes long, I'm pretty sure, and it was just because they kept on going back to the crew and to Marines. But the ending was so worth it, so fire, peak. And I know this is an anime with 1,000 episodes. Like, what the fuck? Like, I think that's why it's kind of hard to get into One Piece, because it's like how can something be 1,000 episodes and be peak? Like, even Pokemon. Like, Pokemon is like a bunch of episodes. People are like, this shit should have ended a long time ago. You feel me? Ash should have won. No, but One Piece is different. It's different because it's kind of like the history books. If you just go back 100 years in history, like, that doesn't seem like a lot of time. That's how you should think of One Piece. Like, it's not a lot of time all these different stories are being told. If you're still on the edge, I'd say you need to look at One Piece as its arcs, because every arc is just so different from each other. It has completely different plot. You meet completely different characters. The enemies are entirely different. The environment is different, right? The crew changes, and just like new things are being added on. I guess I want to talk about the government, right? Fuck, there's just so much to talk about. I'm quite conflicted when it comes to the government. Like, it's a shady ass government, right? At one point I thought of the One Piece government as a tyrannical government, but it's not a tyrannical government. It's a shady government, and they have one rule, which is don't investigate the hieroglyphics. And they enforce that law under the pretense that investigating the hieroglyphics gives you access to weapons of mass destruction. I think they're archaeologists. I think that's what it is. Who are investigating these hieroglyphics are doing it supposedly for the history. You know, they're good people. They're depicted as good people who just want to learn about this history. Essentially, between 900 years ago and 800 years ago, right? There's this piece of history, a century-long history, where nobody knows what happened. It's called the Void Century. It's archaeologists, and they're trying to figure out what happens during that time. And supposedly, it was right around this time that the world government was also happened to be built. So that's really shady. Like, what does the government want to hide 100 years, right? But at the same time, like, you have to understand, these Marines are hella loyal to their government. Like, hella. They're like fucking NPCs, right? Like, it's like weird. It's like you can do something for a job, but it's like to be so devoted to where like you give no thinking, right? It's like they lack apathy as a result. You know, if the government's saying kill these people, they kill those people. They lack empathy whatsoever. And it's just because they committed like a crime of investigating things, right? How can you not be shady of such a government? How can you not like be a free thinker? It's like this government is hella shady. But at the same time, I realized that if I was a citizen or like a regular civilian, of course I'd want people who are investigating weapons of mass destruction locked up. Like, what the fuck? You want to kill all of civilization, and you're supposedly saying it's because it's your hobby and you want to investigate the world and this specific century, which has nothing to do with what's, you know, happening right now. Like, I'm living in a wonderful world where things are prosperous. I have a family, and your fucking hobby may lead to the end of mankind. It's ridiculous. Like, I understand now, like, the polarizing view of both sides of how like the government can also get the citizens to their side to support their cause. I don't want to agree with the government, but I kind of have to. It's like, you know, fuck the 100 years, you know, fuck your little hobby, fuck what happened 900 years ago. Like, why do I care? You know, I'm living in peaceful times right now. Like, I don't want to risk that just so you can do this little hobby of yours where you want to expose the government, even though the government is, you know, good, is okay. So it's interesting. And then we got the pirates, who are people who don't like the restrictions that the government put on them, right? So they desert, they rebel. I don't really understand how the pirate dynamic works. I guess they love treasure, they go around and they adventure, they travel, they don't live normal lives. That's what it seems like. But as a result, they also don't get protection from the Marines. So you don't follow the law, you're not restricted by the law, but at the same time, you're not protected by the law. That's an interesting theme to put out. Like, I like that a lot. And then we got the Revolutionary Army, who are the actual rebels, who actually like go out the way to attack Marines, to gain a movement against Marines. So that's all of this is just like, this is so interesting. You know, this is the tip of the iceberg of One Piece. I'm not even like third of the way there. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're trying to get into One Piece, skip all the filler. I went to Reddit, I was like, One Piece filler to skip. Click on the first link on Reddit and follow that guy. One Piece is like 1,100 something episodes. It's already thousands of episodes long. You do not need to sit through the hundreds of episodes that are filler. You will get the plot. Like, some filler was fun. I like the dropped it, the Marine base, right? That one was really good. I liked it a lot. The filler isn't necessary at all. You don't want to make this harder for yourself than it already is. Skip the filler. Aokiji's introduction. I was not expecting it to happen this early. I loved Aokiji's introduction. He was so laid back, so chill, not menacing at all. It's funny how like Luffy has such a quick reaction to Marines. Until, well, shit happened. You feel me? He's a free thinker. Like, you think like someone who's been indoctrinated into, you know, the Marines military, right? And then, you know, has to go through all their beliefs, and eventually, you know, as you go up the ladder, the more you need to show success, the more you need to show loyalty, the more that you need to show that you are for what the government's for. If the government says this, you're on it. So Aokiji's literally an admiral. Like, he's shown all of that, and he's powerful, right? But at the same time, he's still a free thinker. He still makes decisions for himself, and I like his lazy justice. Like, he understands the implications of investigating into hieroglyphics, but he's not fucking blinded by that into thinking like everyone's evil just because someone's investigating the hieroglyphics, meaning that they need to like be eliminated on site and that they're a danger to the entire world. You know, I'm a little spoiled, so I know what happens, but stuff does happen. And you know, RPG's a respectable guy. I like him. I like how they mentioned Akainu. If I wasn't expecting Akainu's mention, I still haven't seen him, but you know, I know how he looks like. So I'm waiting for his introduction. I saw Mihawk's introduction. I wasn't expecting that this early on, but I think he was introduced before. I just forgot. I forgot when he fought Zoro. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, he was introduced early on. I saw the flamingo. Oh, I thought Dressrosa was near, bro. Turns out that shit is like in 800 episodes. Like, damn, bro. I can't wait to see the flamingo. You feel me? I'm just excited. Like, One Piece is an anime that just makes you excited. I'm on Thriller Bark right now, and I love it. You feel me? I love it. It's a fun arc. Haunted house, one of the warlords. I gotta get more into it. I actually did like the Foxy thing. After coming from such a heavy arc, such as Skypiea, through the lens of like war, like modern day, what's going on, like I said. Like, Skypiea is actually a very deep arc. So going from that to a more lighthearted game marathon was super fun. I skipped the filler after, but the games were fun. One Piece is just like, it's just incredible. Like, it's just good on all fronts. It makes you feel happy and joy, sadness with the backstories, laughter. It's an incredible anime. I think everyone should give it a chance. Embrace the different plot points. Be a free thinker. I can't believe I just sat here for an hour talking about One Piece and how much I love the anime.